I'm Cynthia. Standing in the boardroom of the once mighty Apex Corporation, I felt a rush of satisfaction as I watched the shock and horror wash over the faces of my so-called family. The room fell silent as I revealed that I was the owner of Zenith Logistics, the company that had become their largest client and the backbone of their failing logistics operations. 6 years ago, I was a young, naive woman, fresh out of business school with 2 degrees and a heart full of dreams. My family, the wealthy and influential Blackwood clan, owned Apex Corporation. I thought my intelligence and innovative ideas would be enough to earn me a place at the table. But I was wrong. I walked into that boardroom, wearing a second-hand suit that I'd bought on sale, clutching a business plan that I'd spent months perfecting. I proposed using advanced data analytics to streamline Apex's archaic supply chain. My cousin, Derek, leaned back in his chair and sneered. "Cynthia, you're bright, but this company is about tradition and blood. You can't just waltz in here with some fancy algorithms and change everything." My aunt, Victoria Blackwood, the chairwoman of the board, didn't even bother to look at my presentation. She simply said, "We appreciate your enthusiasm, but perhaps a more junior role in the administrative department would suit you better." The humiliation was like a punch in the gut. As I gathered my papers and walked out, their laughter echoed in my ears. That day, I made a silent vow. If they wouldn't let me sit at their table, I'd build my own empire. I went home, opened a bottle of cheap wine, and sat in front of my laptop. I created a spreadsheet titled Their Mistakes, and the first entry was me. That night, I registered the domain Zenith Logistics.com. I had no funding, no investors, just a burning desire for revenge and a determination to prove them wrong. I took on any freelance job I could find, no matter how small or messy. I worked long hours, often using the Wi-Fi from a nearby diner. I taught myself everything I could about logistics, poring over PDF manuals in the middle of the night while Derek was off on luxury vacations and Victoria was giving interviews about the family legacy. After a year and a half, I hired my first full-time employee, Jake, a disillusioned logistics expert from a bankrupt firm. Together, we developed a revolutionary routing software. Then came Lily, a brilliant data scientist. We moved into a tiny office above a dry cleaner, surrounded by boxes of cables and energy drinks, but our work was top-notch. In the second year, a small freight partner struggling with Apex approached me. I realized that Apex's infrastructure was decades behind the times. I saw an opportunity and started acquiring controlling shares in the back and service companies in Apex's supply chain. Slowly but surely, Apex became dependent on our technology and services. By the end of the third year, over $30 million was flowing through our contracts with Apex. They thought we were just another reliable vendor, never suspecting that I was the mastermind behind it all. In the fourth year, I conducted an internal audit of our relationship with Apex. The results were astonishing. They were more reliant on Zenith Logistics than on their own in-house operations. But I kept building, waiting for the right moment. In the fifth year, I placed 2 analysts in Apex's finance department. They uncovered Derek's corporate fraud. He was falsifying numbers, hiding losses, and manipulating cash flow. But I didn't act immediately. I knew that timing was everything. By the 6th year, Zenith Logistics was a global powerhouse, operating in 12 countries and servicing 9 Fortune 500 companies. Our revenue was nearly triple that of Apex. Today, I walked into that boardroom again, wearing a custom, tailored suit that cost a fortune. I watched as Derek continued to boast about their success, thanks to Zenith Logistics. Victoria sat at the head of the table, looking as haughty as ever. When I announced my identity and the true state of their dependency on Zenith, the room erupted in chaos. Derek accused me of revenge, but I calmly replied, "This isn't revenge. This is business, the business you said I'd never understand." I presented them with 2 options, a corporate restructuring with my oversight or a complete withdrawal of Zenith support, which would lead to their downfall. As I walked out of the boardroom, leaving them to make their decision, I knew that the empire that once scorned me now had to answer to me. I returned to my new office, overlooking the city skyline. Jake was there, with a bottle of champagne on ice. "Do you think they'll take the deal?" he asked. I glanced at my phone, seeing the notifications of Derek's resignation and Victoria's early retirement. "They already have," I said with a smile. The family that once dismissed me now had no choice but to recognize my power. This was the business they thought was only for the right bloodline, but I'd shown them that merit could triumph over legacy.